Morelli's going to make the same mistake. He goes up the inside. He doesn't quite make it up inside from third place on Salmela there. He surely is going to be a bit more circumspect on this first lap.
Careful through the left.
Victory in the first race. There is yesterday's winner, 51. Brian Uriarte there, 4th or 5th place. You're on board now with Brian Uriarte. This is how you do it in Rookies Cup.
Here we go then. Such a famous ribbon of asphalt we've had, and this will be a stonking race here as they come across the line the first time of asking. 95, no plan B, leads the way, does Lightning McQueen.
The pole man on his tail. There's Brian Uriarte right there behind Rico Salmela on the 27.
What about Valentin Peroni though, the 73 yesterday, another podium finish for him. Very, very wide there on the exit to Strubben. Now onto this short squirt of a back straight. It'll be about, what, all the way pinned through turn 6, Peter?
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely. This is the fastest part of the circuit. In fact, it's a couple of bike lengths lead. He doesn't want to see the Argentine take a stronger lead than that.
No, there he goes, absolutely. I mean, while we've been talking, sort of, you can miss the fact that Morelli, he's off like a skull.
I want to see the Argentine take a stronger lead than that.
No, there he goes, absolutely. I mean, while we've been talking, sort of, you can miss the fact that Morelli, he's off like a scalded cat there this season, and it's the fastest lap of the race from Uriarte. 144.5 is just a bit slower than what they were putting in qualifying already.
And that we know.
Best of here is Veda Pratama. He is in 8th place, is the Indonesian. A real feature, up from 12th on the grid yesterday, battling for 3rd, near enough all the way to the line, but he's bogged down a little bit behind Terdepan.
A bit of skill and a bit of luck, he admitted. Right, you're on looking back now at the 51 of Brian Uriarte. Brilliant. And there is Marco Morelli still with the advantage. It's diminished a little bit, but it's still pretty handy, isn't it?
Yeah, a good few bike lengths, but how much do they close in on him there at Holger Heide, one of the fastest.
Moodley still there back in 6th place. As he said, he refuses to let himself get kicked down the order as it happened yesterday when he was pushed back to 10th or even 11th and 12th place, I think.
Really so old school almost. You could put him on a 250cc two-stroke and he looked fine. Meanwhile, you got sort of Pedro Acosta-esque from his fellow Mercian, Alvaro Carpi, right behind him, leaning off so far.
And at the moment, it's a sort of a top 6. Moodley and the end of that top 6. They've got away from Hakim Danish of Veda Pratama.
I think I've got a reason why that is, Pete. Today, if I'm not mistaken, from the actual times in the PDF, best race lap was actually from last year. Alvaro Carpi, 144.9. I don't think they really touched that in this one, but they're already.
Wasn't that quick yesterday. He certainly managed to go with Carpe and Morelli today, but it has stretched things. Not everybody can manage that pace, obviously. It's a very different race than yesterday.
So they were kind of mucking up their ambitions for race-winning glory, so here they are drilling the pace.
Yeah, and Moodley is at the back of that group there and just looking at having a bit of a struggle to hang on.
Off the front of, that was Pugliese there, I think. Goodness me.
Yeah, that is, and of course they've realised that the 6 in front are disappearing and they've got to go after them.
I've got a theory, and it's just so hot. Morelli's still in the race. He was the only rider yesterday putting in 144 flat in the race. He was riding near enough all on his own, caught that group after he crashed. Who's up front leading the way? Here he is.
Good.
Junior, Giulio Pugliese, Leonardo Zanni, Dodo Boggio, and Hakim Danish. Can they chase the leaders down? Can they live with that sort of pace? I'm not sure, but tyre wear will be a factor in this. The
pace is hotter, the track temperature is cooler, the wind direction is a little bit different, and I think somebody pulled the strip off there, off their radiator. You just saw a day glow thing reduce the cooling effect, but that has a tape attached to it that the riders can pull off if they see the engine temperature is rising, and I think that's what one of them did. Didn't see who it was, but in this lead pack somebody did that.
Second half of the race. However, that normally requires there to be a real one of the championship front runners to be in that chasing group. I think Hakim Danish is certainly a rider to keep an eye on, but can he bring the others all back into the fray?
So, you know, there and thereabouts. Exactly. But he wasn't quite there, so right with the front runners, and I think Rouchet is hanging on that. He's got back with that group. I feared he might be dropping off the back of them.
Next set of riders, all the way down to Rocco Sessler in 24th.
So there is still the leader, and he's pretty much led.
As they were doing a new feature on the Born Racers doc, Ruche said the one that tends to win in Rookies Cup in any given race is the one that wants it the most. I think you're looking at a top 6 of riders.
Yeah, and just while we're watching these Super 6 guys, it's let's mention that Born Racers series that is now on TNT in the UK. It's viewable in America as.
We're paid to commentate. It is one of the best series I've ever watched on motorcycle racing. I've never seen such an insight into what really happens when the visors and the helmets come off. Ruche Moodley and Brian Uriarte just at the back of this group then, as we were looking at that replay, something must have happened there, that they've been fallen back somewhat into the pack, off the back of this group I should say. Perhaps they have broken that previous group.
But Moodley and Uriarte aren't a lot slow. It is just fractions. It would be interesting to see just how it unfolds. Have to follow him more or less.
And I think it says a lot. The last time around, Morelli was actually the fastest. I will be loving to speak to them after the race to find out what really went on, because Morelli.
Right. So now the time screen says that Uriarte they've closed, but only fractionally, the Uriarte Moodley on the back of Salmela. So they have. It'll be interesting to see. It was his own fastest lap of the race so far for Carpe last time. When they come round this time, let's see who's setting the pace.
There's only two-time winners so far this year. It's Brian Uriarte. He would join them as a two-time winner so far this season.
That's right.
Same goes for Carpe and Peroni, mind you.
5 different winners in the first 7 races. So it is still
this time. And Uriarte were just a bit quicker, but we're talking thousandths of a second. Carpe shaking his head there. I wonder if he's getting a little bit frustrated. Perhaps he's running a little bit wide. He's on their limit, taking everything they've learned this season so far, doing a bit of homework overnight, and they're just absolutely gunning for it. This is what it's about. Yeah,
that's right, it is. And Morelli is just
exactly that. Suddenly it's more sensible from the rookies than everywhere else seemingly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here we go then. A couple of track limits warnings there, potentially coming in for the likes of Peroni and maybe a 14th spot.
And Morelli has a track limits warning. Now, I'm, to be honest, as you say, apart from the fact that the chicane on the last lap, I hadn't noticed him doing too much, but he's
much as he can, but he's not really making any inroads on them at the moment with 5 laps to go. Rico Salmela says it's time to push on as he goes up the inside of Peroni through turn 7, then makes it stick. Very nice indeed.
Using the 6th for the using 5th, as I said, and he's got on the back, hasn't he? Brian has got on the tail of them now.
He's called him, yeah.
Yes, he's set the fastest lap, a 1:43.69 time lap record. That's what it's taken to reel in these guys. But now, yesterday's winner is with that group. It's just going to be 3 laps and a few corners to go.
He's on the Peroni already. What can Uriarte do? Your series leader, the number 51 yesterday. He momentarily joined MXGP, doing a bit of grass tracking there. Then he had a big front end.
He will have learned, he will have, watched the balance, how he uses his weight, what he does at gears, corners and all that sort of thing, because he's turned it around. He was losing out, he was disappearing off the back, albeit slowly, but he was being dropped.
Dengan catatan ini, pembalap berusia 15 tahun itu berada di peringkat ke-8 dengan 39 poin di klasemen sementara Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup 2024. Hasil itu lantas menjadi modal bagi Veda tampil di seri keempat di Belanda. Juara Asia Talent Cup 2023 itu berharap bisa konsisten di balapan selanjutnya. Pembalap Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama terpilih sebagai salah satu peserta Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024. Ia promosi bersama wakil Asia lainnya, Jakre Ebhat Puetisan. Dorna tergerak memberikan akses langsung ke kancah kompetisi Eropa kepada pembalap muda binaan Astra Honda Racing Team itu berkat grafik prestasi yang meningkat. Dalam debutnya, di Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, Veda berhasil mengumpulkan 3 kemenangan meski dibayangi cedera. Ia pun finish di peringkat ketiga klasemen. Pada edisi berikutnya, pembalap asal Gunung Kidul tersebut tampil lebih garang. Kemenangan telak dicapainya dengan koleksi 256 poin atau unggul 103 dari rival terdekatnya Amon Odaki. Ia memenangi 9 dari 12 putaran dan menggondol mahkota juara ITC 2023. Perolehan poin Veda memecahkan rekor milik Ayumu Sasaki, dengan 203 poin, yang dicetak pada 2015. Pembalap Indonesia Veda Ega Pratama kembali menunjukkan potensinya di ajang Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024. Veda Ega Pratama memiliki peluang untuk memperbaiki posisinya di seri-seri selanjutnya. Veda Ega Pratama merupakan pendatang baru di Red Bull Rookies Cup. Kemampuannya untuk beradaptasi dengan cepat dan bersaing dengan pembalap-pembalap terbaik dunia menunjukkan potensi besar yang dimilikinya. Seri Asen menjadi peluang bagi Veda Ega untuk kembali menunjukkan performa terbaiknya dan meraih podium. Veda memiliki kemampuan dan tekad yang kuat untuk bersaing di papan atas. Meski peluang Veda untuk meraih podium di Asen terbilang cukup berat, bukan berarti hal itu tidak mungkin. Apalagi jika melihat performa Veda di seri-seri sebelumnya. Pembalap muda Indonesia Veda Ega Pratama menilai dirinya kurang beruntung pada seri ketiga Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024 Race 1 di sirkuit Mugello, Italia, Sabtu. Ia yang memiliki peluang juara pada balapan kali ini mengatakan, kurang beruntung, setelah tersenggol pembalap lain yang membuatnya melebar dan terlempar ke posisi ke-10 pada tikungan pertama lap terakhir saat ia sedang memimpin balapan untuk meraih kemenangan perdananya. Veda yang tampil impresif selama balapan tak menyerah hingga kemudian posisi kelima ia amankan untuk meraih 11 poin yang merupakan torehan tertingginya sejauh ini. Saya senang dengan balapan hari ini, namun saya kurang beruntung, kata Veda, dilansir dari laman resmi Red Bull Rookies Cup. Di tikungan pertama pada lap terakhir, seseorang menabrak saya dan saya terdorong keluar, namun saya beruntung karena tidak terjatuh, lanjutnya. Saya berusaha keras di lap terakhir itu dan finish di posisi kelima, jadi saya senang dengan itu, tambahnya. Pembalap asal Gunung Kidul, Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta itu mengatakan setelan motornya masih belum sempurna pada balapan kali ini. Pembalap asal Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama kembali menunjukkan potensinya di ajang Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024. Pembalap muda Indonesia berhasil menempati posisi ke-8 klasemen sementara dengan total 39 poin. Meski masih tertinggal 71 poin dari pemuncak klasemen, Veda memiliki peluang untuk memperbaiki posisinya di seri-seri selanjutnya. Posisi ke-8 bukanlah hasil yang buruk bagi Veda, mengingat dia merupakan pendatang baru di Red Bull Rookies Cup. Kemampuannya untuk beradaptasi dengan cepat dan bersaing dengan pembalap-pembalap terbaik dunia menunjukkan potensi besar yang dimilikinya. Seri Asen yang akan datang menjadi peluang bagi Veda untuk kembali menunjukkan performa terbaiknya dan bahkan meraih podium. Veda memiliki kemampuan dan tekad yang kuat untuk bersaing di papan atas. Meski peluang Veda untuk meraih podium di Asen terbilang cukup berat, bukan berarti hal itu tidak mungkin. Apalagi jika melihat performa Veda di seri-seri sebelumnya. Pembalap muda Veda Ega Pratama jadi satu-satunya perwakilan pembalap Indonesia yang mengikuti kejuaraan Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024. Pembalap muda Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama tidak takut bertarung di baris depan. Ia harus cepat adaptasi dengan motor KTM RC 125 yang beda karakter dari Honda NSF 250R yang dipakai di Asia Talent Cup. Hingga race Red Bull Rookies Cup yang telah berlangsung, Veda Ega Pratama berhasil mengumpulkan lebih dari 30 poin. Namun begitu, pembalap kelahiran 23 November 2008 itu masih kalah dari pendahulunya. Dalam 6 race terakhir ada 2 pembalap Indonesia yang jadi perwakilan di Red Bull Rookies Cup. Mereka adalah Mario Suryo Aji dan Fadilah Ardi Aditama. Mario Suryo Aji atau Mario Aji turun pada musim 2020 dan 2021. Sedangkan Ardi Aditama musim 2022 dan 2023. Dari 2020 hingga sekarang, Mario Aji masih jadi pembalap Indonesia yang berhasil finish terdepan di kejuaraan Red Bull Rookies Cup. Pembalap muda Indonesia Veda Ega Pratama semakin berkembang pada musim debutnya di Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024 setelah ia finish posisi kelima pada seri ketiga race 1 di sirkuit Mugello, Italia, Sabtu. Finish posisi kelima merupakan finish tertinggi Veda sejauh ini setelah catatan terbaik sebelumnya adalah finish posisi ketujuh pada seri kedua race 2 di sirkuit Le Mans, 3 pekan lalu.